All right, FightHype.com, Sean Zittel here with our 2020 Olympic silver medalist, of course, in the super heavyweight division. Our man, well, he's a super heavyweight now. Now in boxing, the pros, of course, it's just heavyweight. But 5-0, 5 knockouts, returning to the ring next week or this week, this Saturday on ESPN on the undercard of Valdez and Navarrete. And Richard, man, to start, you were actually supposed to fight Willie Jake back in March, had a little bit of an injury. How are you feeling health wise? What happened there, and how are you feeling now?
No, I'm good. Yeah, it was a injury in training, and uh, I feel like everyone has hit that eventually, and I'm glad we got that out of the way earlier in the career than later. But yeah, it was a little stutter, and now we're back in full force. I'm thankful that I was able to recover and get that due needed time. But now we're right back at it, and I'm excited. We had like a 9-week training camp, and I'm looking I'm looking forward to this fight. Like I'm so glad that training camp's finally over and it's fight week, and we have this time to taper. And I'm excited to show you guys what we've been working on.
Yeah, 9 week camp. That's the kind of camp guys have fighting for titles. So that's a tremendous camp at this stage. What, if you don't mind me asking though, what did happen? Was it something that happened in sparring, or is it something you can't disclose, or something like that?
My team doesn't really want me to disclose it.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with it, but I got to follow their word. Yeah, it was an injury that was big enough to take me out of the fight. I'm the type of guy that I fight on one leg, with the hand behind my back. But my dad says if you can't go in there 100%, you shouldn't go in there at all. And so with that being said, I took his advice, and I'm just thankful that the hype's still here. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned you'll fight on one leg. Talking about your legs and your feet. I realize now that you've done salsa dancing, right? You've even done some tap dancing
Mhm.
classes as well. Sugar Ray Robinson was a great, or fancied himself a great tap dancer.
I
Yeah,
saw that. I
yeah.
saw that. I saw a video of him with what was the most famous like tap dancer
I think it
ever,
was
like
Ed Sullivan, or he may have done the Ed Sullivan show or so.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
tap
yeah.
dance together, and I saw it. My dad showed me a little while ago. That guy has way better tap footwork than I have ever had. I took one class. That guy has been tap dancing like his entire life, so that was amazing. But it's really cool to see like how dance has actually incorporated itself in boxing. We have Lomachenko, we have Robinson, we have a couple guys like that. And Lomachenko is a guy that I took the inspiration from, and was why I went into tap dance. But figuring out that's not the only person, and there's actually a bunch of different people is really exciting, and it's cool to see that like, oh, this isn't a quirky thing that Richard Torrez is doing. This is something that actually is happening, and I'm just trying to bring more light to it.
Do you got to have the best footwork in the division? Being a 6'2", 6'3" guy fighting mostly giants, are you going to need to have the best footwork in the division to become champ?
I think you definitely need footwork. And the Olympic coach Billy Walsh, he said, "Show me a boxer's footwork, and I'll show you the type of fighter he is." I think that is a staple of what boxing is your footwork. Um, and yeah, I do think you have to be kind of up there. But honestly, in the heavyweight division, especially now with everybody that's out there, I think you have to be a top game in almost all aspects of boxing. You can't just focus on solely on one thing for too long. If you have one guy that has a great shot, that's cool, but he can still get beat. If you have one guy that has great footwork, if you get hit one time, you're still out. So I think that there's a plethora of tools that you need in this game, especially in the heavyweight division now.
You're 5-0, all wins by knockout. Do you knock out Willie Jake Saturday night?
I mean, you never go for the knockout. You know what I mean? That's one thing I've really learned is I can never go for the knockout because if I do, it never comes. And so I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to give everyone the best performance Richard Torrez has. And I think if I give the best performance of Richard Torres' career, then that'll be enough. And that's what we're doing. We're going out there. We're trying to be patient. We're trying to establish jabs. We're trying to come in behind and really work towards just a great fight.
You're going to be fighting in front of a lot of fans that'll be taken to you because it's a big night for Mexican boxing. There's going to be a lot of Mexican Americans like yourself that are going to be watching you in Glendale. What do you think about performing in front of them? And do you feel like, because you're a well-spoken guy, with an aggressive style, got the great mustache, that you could be very marketable with this audience you're about to perform in front of?
I very much hope so that I'm a marketable person. I think that um what you see is what you get with me. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not a guy that's putting up a front. I'm not a guy that's trying to show you the nice dude, but behind the scenes, I'm some other guy. This is who I am, and so if you see me mad, you see me sad, you see me like hurt. That's me. I'm not the guy that really puts up a front. I'm not sure that's the best thing to do with everyone kind of talking more and more about Richard, but at the end of the day, I'm just thankful that I'm able to be on a platform and people are able to resonate with me. I've remember talking to my dad back in the day when I was like 10, 11 years old, and I'd be in the gym all the time. I'd be like, "Pops, when is something gonna happen?" And he'd just say, "Just wait, it's gonna happen. It's gonna work. It's gonna work." And then slowly but surely, it just like a flick, like a flip of the switch. Everyone started wanting to talk, and everyone wanted to be cool, and everyone wanted to hang out. And I'm just glad that the hard work that not only I put in, but my dad, my mom, my sister, it's all starting to pay off a little bit.
And again, performing from a big Mexican American crowd, do you feel like you balance the two backgrounds really well? Being an American, coached by Billy Walsh, the USA Olympic style, but then also got that Mexican blood that it's going to be a fight when you're in there. Do you feel like you kind of meld the two well?
I think so, and I think that's a big thanks to my town. If you look at Southern California, we're predominantly Mexican influence, and we have just like the hard workers here. We have such hard workers here. I just talked to my dad, my friend that's going to college now. He just got accepted into Cal Poly, and he's going and working the great fields in the morning, and then he works McDonald's at night, and then he's studying to go to Cal Poly in the evening. And I'll be out there running, and then all of a sudden I'll think about him working. I'll think about him working so hard in the fields right now to better himself, to better his family, to have a life that he wants. And I think, man, I'm not doing anything right now. I got to go and work harder. So it's not like I think Tulare is a big reason on why I am the person I am today.
So that's Richard Torrez. You're not going to outwork me.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not going to outwork me because I've seen hard workers in and out of the ring, and I've seen what people can do, and I'm going to show you what a hard worker is.
So to be honest, and again, not to be harsh about it at all, but do you have to be what they call an overachiever to become heavyweight champion, or do you not see it that way?
I think that yes, you have to be an overachiever. I think you need something. You need those goals, and you need to be able to want to accomplish something. I think you need to be a little out of your mind to want to be a heavyweight champion. And I think out of your mind in the sense that people don't really understand why you work so hard, and you get that a lot. You get a lot of people like, why do you train 4 times a day? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And it's because you see something. You understand that you need to work hard, and you don't work hard for yourself anymore. You really get to the point where it's like, yeah, you're working as hard as you can, but now you have to work hard for your town. My movie theater, they still say, "We're so proud of you for the Olympics, Richard Torrez Jr." I have to work hard for my dad, who's working still a 9 to 5 job at school. To work hard for my sister, my mom, every single person, because it's not just about me anymore. Everyone who's been supporting me, it's a team journey now.
Top ranked, they signed the man you had the gold medal match with, Jalalov. Do you want that fight in the pros at some point?
I definitely do. Yeah, I think that would be an amazing fight to have, and I think that would be a great kind of full circle event. And I think that I'm really thankful that now there's an opportunity to fight. Before it's kind of like, oh yeah, maybe that fight will happen one day if everything works out and it's written in the stars. But now it's like, no, there's a pathway now, and there's a way to actually come about and have that fight happen, and I'm really thankful for it.
Third time's the charm. That second time, you got a lot closer. Yeah.
I think that with more rounds, and if I could show you guys my conditioning, I could show you guys what Richard Torrez has to offer. I think that it will make a big difference. People say I start hard, but I'd like to say I finish even stronger. And so if you see me in the first round, I really hope one day you'll get to see me in the 10th and 11th and 12th round, because it doesn't slow down.
Well, that's where all that training can pay off, is in those late rounds, right?
1,000%. And I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful to just for my family, man, to be able to put that in me. I'd have to go and run every day with my mom and my sister when I was growing up. My dad would make me work out all the time. I'd go from after school sport to boxing, stuff like that, and it just kept building until it became innate. and now I want to show people that hard work.
You spar with any big names headed for this camp? I know you have in the past, but what about for this one?
I started with Sordo Ramirez.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah.
That was pretty cool. Having a lefty, and he was a pretty tall lefty. He was kind of moving up in weight classes, so they wanted to spar with me,
Man,
and
he's
I
eating
thought that was
good.
great work. Yeah, yeah, no, it was pretty cool. So having that there, and there's a couple other lefties too. I sparred with another fellow Olympian from Ukraine. That was some great sparring. And it was just a really good camp, and I'm really thankful that there's actually a lot more heavyweights coming to California. Before it was like, oh, pick and choose where you want to go. You might have to move, get out of California because there's no sparring. A lot of heavyweights are in LA now. There's a lot of people going to LA, San Diego, and kind of staying in this little area, and that's right down the way from me.
Let me recheck with you. You sparred with Fury in the past, didn't you? At one point.
No,
No.
no, I never
Okay.
started. No, no.
Dude,
I wanted Dubois said he was gonna invite me out to camp for this Usyk fight. I just think it didn't really match up or line up, but there's been a couple opportunities that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to in the future now too. I'm not one of the guys that's like, oh, pay me to come spar. I want to get to work. So if anyone wants to reach out, I mean, see my dad, see my anyone who want to talk to me, I'm more than willing to spar, man. I really am.
I mean, if you're one of the champs, fly the young man out. You guys are making good money. At least fly Richard out. He just wants to work. But
There we
uh,
go.
do you think he has any trouble at all with Ngannou, Fury in that fight?
After he took Wilder's shot, I don't think so. Um, and I think that people fail to recognize the different sport that it is. Even though punches are still being thrown in both sports, boxing is a completely different sport than UFC. I wouldn't want to see. I think that if Ngannou got in the ring with Fury, Fury's gonna take the cake, and I think that if it got in the octagon, it'll be the other way around. I think people have this idea in their head of like how similar they are, but they're really actually very, very different. And I mean, I'll still watch it though. So
Right. I mean, what we saw with that Nate Diaz fight over the weekend, arm punches, the way I mean, he landed some of those uppercuts and those hooks, but no lower half into the punches, and yeah, so
yeah, yeah, I think that fighting. I don't know, man. I think that comes a time and place where UFC fighters, when they're getting older, they shouldn't do boxing events either. It's not like a step down. It's not like I'll have a fun time in boxing because I used to do UFC. It's not really like that. I think that you have a almost a greater chance of getting actually hurt because you can't clinch, you can't hold, you can't do anything like that. And so I'm apprehensive about watching some of those fights actually. And I give it to Nate Diaz, man. That dude's a warrior.
yeah.
But Jake Paul has actually been training, man. He really has been. He's been putting in the effort. He's been putting in the work. I say he calls himself the most valuable prospect. I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie with you. Like he sells the most tickets for a prospect. I'll give him that. I think he's a prospect now. Do I think he should be main events? I'm not sure, but I do see him as a fighter.
Got right. Most valuable, not most talented, not most accomplished, not the best prospect, but the most valuable. Right. He's got a
I'll
point.
give him that one. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're quite the valuable prospect yourself, Richard. Thank you for your time, brother. I'll be seeing you fight Saturday night in Arizona, along with all the other boxing fans on ESPN. Thanks, brother, for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Always, brother. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sean.